So I was in the music industry from 15 to about 20 years old. But from 17 to 19, I was touring the world, opening for a major hip-hop artist at the time. And it was interesting because that experience, one, created my love of travel, because I got to go all over Europe and Asia and the US, and Africa was our last stop. And, you know, we kind of had this thing that we would do. We'd go perform a show. After the show, some promoter would have us at a nightclub, and we'd go to the nightclub and spend all this money. And I would always like take the receipts and the credit card. I was, you know, mama bear, the responsible one. And I'd take it, sign it, we'd go back, and you know, whatever after party would happen at the hotel. And one day in Cape Town, it was like our last stop on the tour, I signed a check. It's for $3,000. We were in the club for 20 minutes. And it just hit me as we walk out the door. Here's the tour bus, and it's all shiny, and there's all these like women coming on the bus, and everyone's drunk. And you know, it's the typical rock star lifestyle that you're envisioning. That happened. And then on this side, there's a shanty town. And it was like these two worlds staring me in the face. And I looked at this world represented by the tour bus and saw what my life had been for the last 2 years. Excess, superficiality, surface level conversations, fake friendships, money, stuff, you know, just that. And then I saw this world, and this world represented the possibility. It represented my humanity. It represented brother and sister. And I felt so called to that. And I saw this world, and I'm like, I've been taking from the world. I've been consuming. And I just got mad at myself in a way. It sounds crazy, but I just got really mad that I had been that big of a taker, and I'd just been like part of the system. I totally bended to the system. And as a kid, I was one of those kids that always bucked the system and wanted to do things differently. And I just saw myself totally sell out in a way, and I felt like a fraud. Like, man, I totally sold out. Like, I sold my soul to get that. And it doesn't even feel good. It doesn't even feel good. So in that sense, I saw that stuck with me so strongly. I remember I journaled that night, and I was journaling that whole tour. And I journaled, and I'm like, I want to be a giver. I want my life to matter. I want to provide. I don't want to keep taking, I want to provide. And I want to create a path where other people can do the same thing. And I came back to New York, quit the music industry, realized it was never something I actually wanted to do in the first place, and started a nonprofit with my best friend because when I met her, she had that same vision. She was in the music industry as well. And she had lived in Egypt when she was young. So we're like, well, let's start with Africa. But the funny thing is it took us about a year and a half for us to really say, okay, we're going to do this, because we thought we had to have money. We thought we had to have fame and notoriety. We thought we had to be Angelina Jolie or Bono to make any sort of impact in the world. But then we heard the story, again, one story can change everything. We heard a story on the news on BBC, and it was about this woman from, I think, the UK. I don't remember her name, but she raised $200,000 for a village in Africa. And we're like, it was like the record stopped, and like, that's all we could hear. And we kind of looked at each other and we're like, okay, no one knows who this woman is. She did it. If she can do it, we can do it. And that's where we came up with the name EPIC, which stands for Everyday People Initiating Change. Because we know, it's not even we don't believe, we know that you don't have to be someone with a platform and someone with money or someone with all this extra time. You just have to be somebody who cares. Somebody who has a passion for wanting to give back. And it doesn't have to be Africa. It could be in your own backyard. There's so many ways that we can give back. I can give back to you right now with a smile, being kind. You know, it's the easiest way to give back, and it's free. So with EPIC, yes, we drill clean water wells. Yes, we do, community development. But we also, a part of our mission is inspiring people to be epic in their everyday lives and finding something that they can do now.
Thank you for watching A Wise Way. Subscribe to stay updated, share to pass the knowledge, or view our other videos on the left.